on beating RRQ now.
Okay, but for now, it's going to be a very, very unique draft from the side of GEEK FAM. RRQ, they have very blacklisty draft here with the Estes and the Yi Shin, but we'll see how they do against a very aggressive composition in the early stage of the game. Fail, Franco, they were picked up. 100%. I mean, there's only one reason they were picked up. They were picked up to get that early game advantage, and it's time to get into game number 2. The Land of Dawn portal has opened up, and GEEK FAM has already made very aggressive movements onto the enemy jungle. Renvi, obviously, with his Franco, wants to go for that purple buff. Just grab it a little, just reset it, and create some bad problems for the side of RRQ, but it seems like no. He's playing it quite passively. He actually misses the Iron Hook, and that's going to be a free little Wanderer, plus a little bit of damage towards Renvi.
I mean, this is already quite good here from the side of GEEK FAM, okay? They are trying to adapt as well as adjust to the playstyle coming in from RRQ Hoshi with the addition of so much CC as well with the Veil, like Arashi mentioned earlier. It is going to be very important for RRQ Hoshi to bear in mind of the ultimate that this Veil can have, especially in team fights. And once again, Renvi here already being able to buy a lot of time actually for his team, knowing that you know, Albert, a very snowballing type of character, they are trying to do their best to, you know, limit this from happening.
For sure, Yushin-Shin's strong suit is that farming speed, you know, how mobile he is on the map to get that late game, to farm towards that late game. So delaying it with the Franco is already a small win for the side of GEEK FAM. But with that aggressive, you know, pick style composition, with the, you know, actually 3 members with good crowd control. We were joking about Goni earlier. But with Franco, Paquito, as well as Veil, they have a lot of options. And they need to actually try and use it effectively, because if they have all the crowd control in the world, but they are not going to try and punish RRQ by trying to get pickoffs, they won't be able to actually capitalize on that really very effective draft.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention as well here, Eterna, is that, you know, I mentioned earlier it's a very blacklisty draft here, but Chuan jumping in, no follow-up just yet. Renvido is making his way. Iron Hook almost connects, but Skylar is just way too slick for that. Almost a huge play, but GEEK FAM, this is bad for them. They're already in the top side, whereas RRQ Hoshi, they picked up the turtle. They've only gotten half of this, not even half of that gold turret. Vin, oh my god. Oh, it's so frustrating to see. It's always just a pixel away from connecting.
I mean, Franco is such a hit or miss hero, right? Yeah. You want to put someone like Franco in the roamer position, he has to be able to land his iron hooks. If not, he can't really stave off as much damage as other particular roamers do. I think that is what makes them so similar. But as I speak, RRQ Hoshi really sticking to what they know, being able to take another pickoff on the board, a little similar to what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, Renvi finally connects on that Iron Hook, but again, just no follow-up, all right? When Vince gets a knock-up, the Iron Hook doesn't land. When he gets the Iron Hook, no follow-up from the team. Just unfortunate at this point, but that was your first blood presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A series. GEEK FAM, this game, they have, actually, I like the way they're going. They've actually adapted already from the mistakes of the last game. They're looking for the trades. When RRQ goes to control the bottom side, they don't go for it. They don't respond in the same way they did in the first game. They went up top. Unfortunately, though, wasn't a trade they were looking for. They did not get a pickoff, and now they are struggling. 1,000 gold lead against a Sicilian.
Yeah, they're losing in trades right now. And when you were talking about that Franco, I wanted to mention it's a little like the boy who cried wolf, right? Yeah. So they're expecting it to hit. It doesn't hit. For the 3rd time, it doesn't hit. And once it hits, there is no follow-up because maybe, just maybe, GEEK FAM, they're not ready for it to hit. And so this is going to be very scary when it comes into the team fights and the potential that actually GEEK FAM does have in terms of kickoff. But here we see something happening.
Yeah, another pickoff here for the side of GEEK FAM. That was really, really well played. They are actually able to trade this time around, getting control on that top side. Whereas GEEK FAM on that bottom side, completely just leave it. You know, it is the weak side of the map. Paquito will be able to do very well there. Skylar, again, such clean movement from this man. The progression that we've seen from this guy from Season 7, getting hated by the netizens, but in Season 8, completely coming up on top. And in M3, we got a display of how good this man can be. But so far, RRQ, not only just in the draft, but the way they play the game, it feels like they've already learned from their losses in M3.
For sure, it's a lot more calculated, as we can see. Even though they are 4 men on GEEK FAM sent to the top side, yeah, the tower gold is taken away, but not much aside from that. So they're still able to minimize their losses as much as possible. And honestly, they have the very strong late game. They have 2 marksmen and a Sicilian. So it's a very greedy draft by all means. But this also means that Geek Fam are the ones that's fighting against the clock, because if they don't end the game fast, that's a lot of damage, and I'm not quite sure if the Franco will be tanky enough to absorb all that.
Okay, but yeah, so far, I don't know, honestly, the Yi Sun Shin Eterna is farming at will. It's very free at this point. Apart from the first orange buff being hooked away from him, there's not much else, but now suppression connects. It's going to be Vin still able to jump away. Remember, ultimate, the Blessing of the Moon Goddess is still up. RRQ looking for a proactive play in the top side. Schwan needs to be careful here. Let's see what they're able to do. RRQ not checking the bush. They're just going to go for the objectives, and this is what I said. With Coach Phil at the helms, they don't go for these crazy skirmishes anymore. They don't look for forces, but they do, in fact, get a kill in the mid lane. Iron Hook connects, and that's going to be the Phantom Execution to finish off the kill. Julian picks up one. When they lose something, they get one back. Julian jumping back and forth, puncture away. That's going to be Skylar zoning Julian away with the shotgun. And again, RRQ playing a very different game to what we expect from them.
Yeah, I was just about to say, RRQ Hoshi, they are looking very much more disciplined than we saw in game number 1, right? They are still looking for their pickoffs. That is what they like. That is what they like to do. But of course, they do still have the objectives on their mind. They are able to take the towers all across the board, as well as the turtle. So now Geek Fam, with the strategy that they want to have, they want to look for team fights, I'm guessing. But unfortunately, RRQ Hoshi, they're really good at splitting the map. And now we can already see RRQ Hoshi trying to pressure Maves here, but they have to be careful because there is some setup coming in from Geek Fam as well.
Ooh. Yet again, the skills are being used, but they don't seem to be connecting, and it doesn't seem like their team is actually in the right spot.
Yeah, look at that. Skylar actually gets hooked, but Finn is right there in the mid lane, though. It's going to be Vin still able to run away from the side of RRQ. Purple buff is going to be started by Julian. RRQ still completely controlling the tempo, and at this point, this is where Geek Fam are going to find it a little bit hard to look for trades, because all the turrets in the side lanes have been taken down. RRQ already have scaled properly here up to this mid-game. Clay, Vin, Skylar, and even the Yi Sun Shin are a menace. I don't think they're going to be able to trade nor contest for fights anymore. I think their only way to win or to get the game back to their hands is wait for a mistake.
Wow, another third turtle here into the hands of RRQ Hoshi, being able to get a lot of gold here, 3,000 gold in the 7th, almost 8th minute. It isn't looking good for Geek Fam at all. And honestly, looking at the composition that Geek Fam is bringing to the table, I feel like their only hope right now is waiting for Vale to reach his power spike. I feel Vale has the ability and if he gets the proper setup, will be able to pick off teams coming in from RRQ Hoshi with the damage that he has, as well as the utility in that CC.
Oh, wait a minute though. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off. That's a kill picked up by Geek Fam. They're still looking for more. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, but this is very different. Like, if that was the old RRQ, they would have just gone guns blazing. They had the glue roaming up top as well. So maybe dive in the turret, but no, RRQ playing it really disciplinedly, getting the kill, moving back, and once again going for the setup.
Yeah, and despite the best efforts from Geek Fam, we do see that the highest goal in the game is still on Albert as well as Skylar. And now Renvi will be the main target, and RRQ again playing with his very aggressive style.
Yeah, look at that. R7 goes in, flicker forward as well, backwards actually to get away, but RRQ. This is a refined RRQ. Very different to what we saw in the M3 World Championships. They know exactly when their power spikes are going to hit, and they use it very, very well.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. But this is something that is very RRQ, right? Like, one game they play a really disciplined game, and the next they're not. So consistency is going to be very important for RRQ Hoshi. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can keep up this consistency, because that is where they fail most usually. And now with the Lord on its way, will Geek Fam be able to contest us away from RRQ Hoshi, seeing that the damage output coming in from Skylar is already insane? I mean, still sitting at a 201 KDA. Like you mentioned, Skylar, his positioning is awesome. His impact is there. And how will Geek Fam be able to get into the backside of RRQ Hoshi?
I've actually copied his hairstyle.
Awesome.
Yeah, anyways, in the bottom side, Albert going for this inner turret. It is going... Skylar reading the map really well. Again, I think he's playing from a big screen, but it's going to be Skylar going and clearing the bottom side, whereas Albert's starting this Lord already. Micro movement, micro management coming in for the side of RRQ, whereas Julian is just going to go for the trades. It doesn't look like they want to contest this with their jungler up top, but I might be wrong. Maeve jumps in, knockout strike does not connect. Sanguine Claws, though, will be able to zone him away. It's going to be Vince still able to disengage from the fight. Renvi is going to get caught out. Flicker out of there, but Albert, he is ferocious. He's going to go back in right now, takes the turret away, and that's going to be the snipe missing away, but it's going to be R7 going into the front, creating space for Albert to pick up that kill. On the top side though, very good trades. GEEK FAM, they know they cannot go for the 5v5 fights. They instantly go up top and they pick up 2 turrets.
Yeah, adaptability is there, right? This is what we wanted to see. They understood perfectly that they couldn't win that team fight around that Lord and was able to get something in return. As we're going to take a look at the items here.
For sure, for Vince, the Cup of Destiny and Lightning Truncheon is available, but he just doesn't have the opportunity to try and get the squishy members of RRQ Hoshi. If they do mess up and the GEEK FAM gets a big combo, there is more than enough damage to actually get picks, especially because there's so many squishier backline targets on the side of RRQ Hoshi.
Absolutely, man. Like, I don't know, 6,000 gold lead in 10 minutes on the Sicilian and the Beach Tricks. This, and the Yisun Shin as well.
Yeah, you know, I find it like quite unfortunate because we talked about adaptability and how we see that GEEK FAM has a lot of crowd control, but they're not playing it very aggressively. And in fact,
whoa! That was one hit from Albert!
Yikes. That was something else. I was about to say that they're not playing aggressively with the crowd control that they have. So it's not what they're supposed to be doing because they don't win in this late game. So they seem to be playing it a bit too safe. Maybe there's a bit of fear left from game number 1.
The issue is, if they do want to play it more aggressively, the damage output coming in from RRQ Hoshi is already so evident.
Yeah,
and the problem is, even though that Vince on this Veil will progress into the later stages of the game, especially with the itemization he has chosen with the Winter Truncheon as well as the Clock of Destiny, unfortunately, a Veil, they can't, it's not a click and point type of CC, you know, right?
Yep.
It needs a proper type of setup, and unfortunately, there is not much of a setup coming in from GEEK FAM right now for this Veil to have its utmost impact in the team fights.
I just want to say this before I throw it back to you, Eterna. Albert got level 15 in the 10th minute of the game. That is insane. He's already at DHS. Usually for me, it'll take like 20 minutes to get there, but anyways, RRQ, what the heck was that?
I mean, again, you see the player go for Albert. For the most part, he hasn't had any trouble farming in the jungle at all. Now Renvi goes to try and make sure that the purple buff is taken by his team, and Vince was able to secure it. But as you can see, RRQ, again and again, they get advantage, they cut off your jungle, now your jungle belongs to us. So Albert is able to continuously farm in his jungle, and even if the rest of the members also want to farm and get advantages, they can do so in the opposing team's jungle. And that is exactly what RRQ likes to do, and that is what is contributing to the 7.5k gold difference.
I mean, little wins, guys, little wins. GEEK FAM being able to take their own buff, little wins, right, for the side of GEEK FAM. I mean, RRQ Hoshi, they're kind of disrespecting their opponents as of right now. I mean, look, did you see those recalls? That is so disrespectful. And now, they were actually might be able to take this Lord uncontested from the side of GEEK FAM, because right now, it's like I mentioned earlier, GEEK FAM, again, no answer towards RRQ Hoshi's crazy aggressiveness plays.
The thing is, right, RRQ's composition was built for the late game. Yep, and they won the early game. So at this point, the later the game goes, it's going to favor RRQ even more. I think if we have the win probability, it's going to be just like 90% RRQ, especially with the Enhanced Lord that's just been taken off the board. Now, it's time to take a look at the team. Schwan, everyone on GEEK FAM still sharp, very focused on the game, still looking like they are in the game. Renvi, I like this already. They're going for something creative on the map. It's going to be actually R7 being targeted. Not the right target. I think they should have started it off with that ultimate. R7 gets out. Not only does he get out, he's looking for the re-engage. Mountain Shocker is going to be popped to look for the opponents right now. R7 brings back Franco to his team, but no follow-up just yet. Actually using and basically forcing 2 flickers, getting the turret off top. So I like the creativity for GEEK FAM, but unfortunately, I feel like it's already a little bit too late. Base turrets are going to get taken down here, and it might be the game. Swan still able to do some damage onto the waves, but Albert just does so much damage. Look at the claws! Killing spree picked up. A double kill for Albert. They're just wreaking havoc at this point. Julian can't even get to Clay. He's gonna get kited back. A double kill for R7. Everyone gets killed, and RRQ will finish off the match with a